That's not surprising. You wouldn't expect that after hundreds of years of accumulation of information. We have books where we can pass information. So in that sense, it's not surprising. But there is another difference which is surprising, and which is in regard to the spiritual dimension. All the ancient and aboriginal cultures, without exception, believe that there are dimensions of reality that are ordinarily invisible. They believe that consciousness, in some sense, is superior to matter, that consciousness does not end with death. There is posthumous journey. There are these different abodes of the blessed and the doomed, and so on. There's reincarnation, metempsychosis, and so on. Whereas for the Western industrial civilization, at least for its sort of main spokesman, this is a material universe. The history of the universe is the history of developing matter. Much of it happened without any participation of consciousness, without any participation of creative intelligence. It happened in a very small, infinitesimal part of the universe after billions of years of development that a life originated. And then within life, then consciousness as the epiphenomenon of the neurophysiological processes in the brain, and then intelligence. So in that kind of worldview, there's absolutely no place for spirit. So to be spiritual from a strictly materialistic psychiatric perspective is to be primitive, to be uneducated, to be gullible, to be into primitive thinking, primary process. Now, if it happens to somebody who's intelligent, like people like in the category of Einstein or Bohr and so on, the idea is you probably have some unfinished business from your childhood. You are carrying some kind of infantile images of your parents, and you're projecting it out there and making sort of gods and goddesses out of them. And when somebody has spiritual experiences, then we give them diagnosis and we put them on tranquilizers. There's a fundamental difference between these two groups of people, all the pre-industrial cultures and the industrial civilization, in relation to spirituality. Now, the usual interpretation is that they didn't have science. We have sort of superior materialistic scientific understanding. The way I would see it after working 45 years with these states is that it has something to do with the relationship with these holotropic states. That all these pre-industrial and ancient cultures held these states in very high esteem. They spent a lot of time and energy developing powerful and effective and safe ways of inducing them, and they were regularly practicing them. So they were having their sort of everyday maintenance activities, and then once in a while they would have a ritual where a group of people or the whole tribe would go into a non-ordinary state, and they would experience these kinds of states, holotropic states that I'm talking about, and they're so powerful, so convincing, that once you have them, you have to build them into your worldview. There's no way you can ignore that kind of experience. It would be like talking me out of the fact that there's a microphone here. I mean, I can see it, I have a very real experience. So if people have past life experiences or they have experience of the divine, those are encountering archetypal beings, mythological beings, those are very, very powerful types of experiences. So I see the difference now being based on the naivete of the industrial civilization in relation to these holotropic states. While the native cultures all were using them all through their life, and they combined in their worldview the experience from the holotropic and the holotropic, we have eliminated this holotropic dimension out of our life. We discourage these kinds of experiences. We have even outlawed some of the means and some of the contexts. And when people have spontaneous experiences, we consider it to be a pathology across the board, and we suppress them. So we don't have information coming from that domain.